Hey, you guys know I wrote a book about forgiveness? I did. It's called The Power of the Effort in the Workplace. And I want you to go and purchase it. It is at wherever books are sold. That's right. Barnes& and Noble, Amazon, Walmart, Target, wherever you buy a book online, you can find it. The Power of the Effort in the Workplace. And I wrote it. And did you also know that I have an e-course? Yes, I have an e-course designed that I personally walk you through the course that are all 5 lessons that are within the book. And when you get the e-course, you get the workbook with it. That's right. You can download the whole workbook off of the e-learning course platform, which is Think of It, so that you can walk through and do the discussion point questions. I mean, I think it's pretty awesome. I'm all about forgiveness. I'm all about discipline, and I want you to get the tools to win. So go into the link below and get on the journey of forgiveness. Hello, and welcome back to another episode with Amanda on Keys to Balance. I'm so happy to be here today because we are talking about one of my favorite topics. That's right, discipline. I know y'all like, oh, discipline. Listen, discipline is love, you guys. Like, straight up. I say it every day. That is my motto. Discipline is love. If you want to change your life, add some discipline to your life. I promise you it will change. So, what I want to do today is give you guys just three great points, great tips on how you can add discipline to your life. I think we all struggle in certain areas, right? Some of us might be more strong when it comes to fitness. Some of us might be more strong when it comes to our mental capabilities. Some of us might be spiritual. It might be habits forming for work. When it comes to completing a task, you might be on it and you're disciplined in those areas. But we all may not have that balance across the board. And there's seasons, right? There's some times where you might be on point when it comes to your spiritual walk, and there's other times where you kind of fall short. There might be times when you're trying to complete a task, complete a goal, and you're just not hitting it. You keep getting distracted. And we talked about distractions in the prior episode. And if so, if you did listen to that, jump on it after this one to hear about those distractions. So let's jump right in here. What do I feel? Does that even make sense? What is my number one? Put it that way. What is my number one tip I want to give you guys about discipline? Number one, set clear goals and priorities. Yes, indeed. Having clear goals and priorities helps you focus your time, your energy on what's important, and we avoid distractions and time wasting activities. This is key. Um, Having multiple children, working a corporate job, people always would ask, how in the world do you stay physically fit? How did you turn around and write a book? Two books, actually. And how did you create an e course? And now, how are you doing a podcast? I create goals and priorities. This is a fact. I'm very goal oriented and I'm very focused, and I put dates to everything. And I make sure that I allocate time to make sure that my tasks get done. This is very important. This is the time where I turn off the television, shut off the phone, and say, okay, this is what we're going to do for today so that we can go ahead and achieve the goal. Now, another thing is that when I put that date, that time, I'm not I'm sorry, I'm very realistic, right? So I will say I need this to be done by first quarter. I'm giving myself 90 days because life can happen and you don't want to get distracted. But in that time period, I'm putting in work. I'm allocating time to make sure things get done. So it might say, let's say we're going to do Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday, Thursday, and I'm going to block out an hour or two. I never overdo it so that I feel like I'm drained and then I lose the joy out of it. Now, when it comes to even fitness goals, I'm very aware of that as well. If I'm saying I'm trying to get my body fat percentage lower or I want to gain muscle, I'm not telling myself we're going to do it in a week. I'm very realistic. I'm saying, depending on where I'm at, I'll say, okay, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks. And I'm doing day by day activities to make sure that achieve that goal. So that is very important. That's number one. And with discipline is that you have to create goals, priorities. That's number one. Number two, create a routine. Woo! Creating a routine can help you establish habits to support your goals and priorities. That goes around with times and dates and exercise, self-care, and other important activities. So for me, I get up before everyone else to hit the gym. The reason why is that that's my routine. I make sure I go to bed by 10 o'clock. I get up at 5:15. I hit the gym. I'm back home before the kids wake up to go to school. Once they're out the door, then I do my rest of my day. I'm able to focus on my job. The minute the clock is done at work, I jump in and I might have an hour before I pick up my son and I'm able to do some work. So I really try to create a routine, and that's discipline. Now, a lot of times you don't even realize is that you created a routine already. It just might not be a routine that is beneficial to trying to create your goal. You may have a routine that you come home, kick your shoes off, and open up the freezer and eat a whole tub of ice cream. Just saying, that might be your routine. And you sit in front of Netflix for 3 hours because you feel like you want to decompress in front of the TV and accomplish nothing and do a woe me party. That could be your routine. Is it helping you reach a goal? Probably not. But we got to think about it. So we all have disciplines in our lives. So you need to ask yourself, what routines, what rituals have I created that are not healthy? And make sure that you check those. Say, okay, wait a minute, I don't need to do that anymore. I need to make sure that what I'm doing every day is helping me reach the goal, or at least the desired life that you're looking to have. And creating a routine is super important. And number three, hold yourself accountable. Oh my goodness, you guys. It's so important to hold yourself accountable. Your actions, for your actions and your behaviors. I mean, this can include tracking your progress towards your goals, seeking feedback from others, and being honest with yourself on the areas that you need to improve. There is no point of trying to create a goal and you have zero accountability. You have to trust somebody to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Check in with me on this. How else are you going to reach it? Because life happens. We talked about this. The distractions kick in. You have to have that person that you can trust and lean on to get their feedback and say, hey, how you doing? I know you told me you were going to stop doing this, or I know you told me you were working on this. How's that going? You have to have that. And, hold yourself accountable. If you make a mistake, that doesn't mean that you got to beat yourself up either. That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that you turn into this whole thing, oh, I suck. I don't want to do this anymore. I should have never tried to do this. No, it doesn't mean that. You just start all over again. If you had a goal that you want to lose 2 pounds per week, and all of a sudden you just had a moment where you just binged out, that doesn't mean the next day you wake up and you quit. No, that doesn't mean you start all over again. You start over. You don't stop. And this is why we have to have healthy people surrounding us to encourage us to do so. So those are my 3 tips, you guys, when it comes to discipline. Let's go through that again, right? So number 1, we want to create clear goals and priorities, right? Number 2, we want to create a routine. And number 3, we want to hold ourselves accountable. And again, if that means you getting close friends, family, your partners, whatever that may be, you need to have that in order to accomplish your goal. Okay, so I can't leave a podcast without talking about forgiveness. You already know this. You know me by now. So forgiveness actually requires discipline. What? What are you talking about? Yes, it does. I talk about this in my book. I talk about this in my e-course. It's super, super important. Let's dig in. Forgiveness requires discipline to let go of negative emotions and move forward. It can be a challenge to forgive, especially when you've been hurt or you're wrong, right? But it's important. It's a skill that you have to cultivate. You have to learn how to forgive. You have to make it a discipline in your life. That is the only way that we do. Okay, so forgiveness supports discipline. How? Holding on to grudges and negative emotions can be draining. It's so draining. And it takes your energy, it takes focus, making it more difficult to maintain disciplined lifestyle, right? So if I'm trying to lose that weight or create that business, and then I'm getting offended in the meantime because I don't want to let stuff go, what is that doing? It's distracting me. We talked about that, right? It's distracting me. It's getting me off focus. I have to create a disciplined lifestyle so that I can focus on what I'm trying to achieve. Practicing forgiveness, we can release negative emotions and free up the energy and focus to be more productive. So I'm going to practice forgiveness. Why? So I can be more productive on what I want to be productive on. I put my energy on what I would put my energy on, not what he, she, and they said and what they did to me. Who cares about them? We are goal getters, right? We're trying to live our lives. We don't care about that. And last one we're going to give you, forgiveness is part of self-discipline. Forgiving ourselves for mistakes and failures is an important part of self-discipline. By acknowledging our mistakes, taking responsibility for them, and forgiving ourselves, we can learn from them and move forward with greater clarity, purpose, and discipline. Yes, this is what it's about, right? If I learn how to forgive quickly, if I learn that, all of this is supporting my goal. This is how I become more disciplined. It works hand in hand. So let's go back. Let's talk about this. What are we doing? Why do we need forgiveness? How is this correlating with discipline? We talked about it. Forgiveness requires discipline because what does it do? It helps us let go of those negative emotions. You know, you got upset when your husband or your wife or your friend said this and that and the third, and now you're completely off focus. It's a challenging way of thinking to let go quickly, but we have to cultivate this skill, right? Number two, forgiveness supports discipline. How? Because we don't want to hold on to grudges and negative emotions. It can be draining. It's super draining. It's draining to hear other people project all their stuff about their situation onto me, and I'm sitting here listening to it. It wears me out. So imagine you personally doing it, what it does to you, right? It's a difficult lifestyle to maintain, but we do it, we practice it, because releasing a negative emotion, what does it do? It frees us up so that we can be more productive. Last one, recapping here, forgiveness is a part of self-discipline. This is so major, you guys. Like, I hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Acknowledging your mistakes is big. You cannot live in la la land thinking that your mistakes didn't happen, it didn't affect anybody. It's not the reason why you're at. No one's saying to live in shame and live in guilt. Absolutely not. No, we're talking about, I'm going to learn from this situation that just occurred so that what I don't do it again, and I'm going to forgive myself through it. And I'll be honest, you guys, this is the hardest part for me, is self-forgiveness. I have to do it every day. I'm consistently thinking about, wow, if I should have done that, if I should have done that. I have to grab those thoughts immediately and say, nope, that's the past. We've been there, done that. We can't dwell on it, Amanda. We got to move forward. And with that, it allows me to have more clarity. And I know my purpose. And that's creating the discipline. So we want to be a part. We want this kingdom lifestyle, right? We want to live a life of just forgiving people and a life of discipline. Because it's so often you see people that just do whatever feels good, and those people lack discipline. Those people lack self-control. You can't achieve anything in your life if you're going off of your emotions. Be logical with some things. Now, I'm not saying just disconnect with emotion. Absolutely not. That's an extreme. No one's saying that. But what I'm saying is that when you feel something, it's okay to sit in it for a minute and feel it. But let's be logical about it. Let's sit there and say, okay, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? Where is this coming from? Okay, take a deep breath. Did this person really mean that? Probably not. Okay. Is there any truth in what they said? Okay, let's take this truth. Let's throw away the trash, right? Take the meat, throw away the bone. Okay, and move on. We're not going to dwell in it, because at the end of the day, we're trying to complete our goal. We are goal-getters. That's what we're doing. We're goal-getters. We're not trying to live a life of victim. We're not trying to live a life of woe me. We're trying to live a life of success. In order to reach that goal of success, we have to learn the power of discipline. Discipline is love. And we have to learn the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is power. So I hope that this quick podcast did something for you. Hey, it did for me. I hope it did for you. So catch me next time. And we're going to talk next time. We're going to be doing a special podcast because we're going to be celebrating Mother's Day. And I got a special Mother's Day podcast coming up for you next time. So stay tuned. Make sure that you like, that you share, and send me a comment. Let me know what you think about these amazing tips that I'm giving you. And we're going to talk real soon. See you next time.